hard fought and a long time coming.
This bill has passed both houses.
New South Wales is the last state to legalise voluntary assisted dying, and it took cross-party cooperation to make it happen.
No bill in Australian parliamentary history has had more co-sponsors than this bill.
The legislation had its final passage through the lower house, with a vote to accept some amendments added in the upper house.
The question is resolved in the positive. Unlock the doors.
It passed there, 23 votes to 15, not before opponents expressed their disappointment during a marathon debate.
I will leave here today thinking that this is a dark day for our state.
Outside the chamber, there was celebration.
This is not just a revolution in medical care, it's an evolution in our compassion as a society.
Only a few years ago, some MPs had tried to legislate and failed.
Today I'd like to actually apologise to those families because this should have been passed in 2017.
To access voluntary assisted dying, a person must be suffering a terminal illness that will result in death within 6 months. It'll be 12 for a neurodegenerative condition. They have to be assessed by 2 different doctors. There will also be a new board set up to oversee and approve the process. But all this won't come into effect for another 18 months.
I would like to see New South Wales health professionals and public servants now act extremely quickly to establish and enact and give real meaning to these laws.
While socially progressive law reform has been slow in New South Wales, it has been the independent MP Alex Greenwich who has seen a path through. He's produced bills that have decriminalised abortion and now legalised voluntary assisted dying in one term of a Liberal national government.
Independents deliver, but to do so, we've got to do it by working across party lines.
And the independents' plight doesn't stop here.
We are also passing the baton to our federal colleagues to ensure people in the territories have the same end-of-life choices.
That choice will now be available in 6 states. Ashley Raper, ABC News, Sydney.
And Ashley Raper is still with me. Ashley, this major reform managed to pass even without the support of both the Premier and the opposition leader.
Yes, the legislation went through in spite of Dominic Perrottet and Chris Minns opposing it. Both leaders contributed to the debate in Parliament and outlined their reasons for not supporting it. In fact, the Premier was the first government MP to speak on it. But he didn't stand in the way, which is perhaps a reflection of the fact that he leads a minority government and Alex Greenwich is a key independent. And it was also a recognition that this was the will of the Parliament. All MPs were given a conscience vote, and while going into it, the numbers were considered tight in the upper house. The support was there, Juanita, for this significant piece of legislation to pass.